Future Bitcoin. Where's the price going, and why?
To the moon.
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
So I had a chance to meet with Lark today from the Crypto Lark YouTube channel, and I talked to him on a wide range of topics, including his views on Facebook's global coin that's coming out soon, as well as what he thinks about the future of cryptocurrencies in general and Bitcoin in general. But first I thought I'd ask him about his investment strategy. Enjoy.
Sense, but in terms of the investing, so I've got those things that I look at as these are strategic or long-term or whatever, but I definitely play the altcoin markets quite a bit, and that's some of those have great steady income potential, right? Passive income, whether you're running staking coins, for example, or some of these new exchange tokens that are coming out. Like if you look at the NASH exchange, they haven't launched the exchange yet, but their token, when they do, if you lock it up for 2 years, they're giving you 75% of the exchange fees back. And that's massive. I mean, just lock those tokens up and sit back and collect your passive income, assuming, of course, that the exchange does become popular, right? It's all a risk, as in a lot of things. And
in everything.
That's right. A lot of these crypto assets are very risky. And you definitely have to have a good attitude for risk in investing in cryptocurrencies. And you have to, of
do
course,
your
also,
homework.
That's right. Do your homework, do your due diligence, and have a risk management strategy in play here. How much of a loss are you willing to take on that token, right? I mean, do you have your stop losses in if you're day trading or something like that? And I don't do a lot of day trading, but I do. I watch for good opportunities, hop in once in a while, but in terms of those long-term holds, you definitely have to have your risk management strategies in place for those. And I think, that's definitely something, some tough lessons I learned during the bear market, but I think it's really great advice for anyone out there just to, if you are getting into these things, well, how much of a loss are you willing to sustain on taking these on board? Because the reality is some of these assets are going to fail long-term. There is no brushing that over. We are in a startup market. These tokens will not find economies. These tokens will not find user bases. These blockchains will not find developers to build on them. Some of them will. Some of them will succeed spectacularly.
Sure.
Others will just be forgotten about in the dustbin history.
Sure. And speaking of that, I think you said something that's important. Have a strategy, but I'd like to add to that. Stick to the strategy. I've lost a lot of money many times by not sticking to my strategy over the years. So make that strategy and stick to it. Speaking of altcoins, Facebook, global coin. I see this as, I just wrote an article on Medium saying this might be a necessary evil to get it to the masses. But there's a lot of downside here too. Give me your views on this new global coin.
Well, Facebook's global coin it's not really a cryptocurrency in any of the ways that we like to understand cryptocurrency, right? It's not going to be permissionless. It's not going to be decentralized in any meaningful way. I'm sure there's going to be 100 nodes, but they're all paying $10 million to get that.
I heard that, yeah.
And, I mean, they're going to censor transactions. It is going to be geo-blocked. You're not going to be able to send money to people in Iran or North Korea or a lot of countries, to be honest. We can take those as the absolute outliers, but this is the reality is that it's not permissionless, it's not decentralized, it's not a situation where anyone can get an account. It's not like Bitcoin at all. And so that's just the tip of the iceberg. Then we have to, outside of that, we look at the censorship at the Facebook level, right? People having their accounts just taken away from them. I mean, customer service at Facebook is beyond bad. And if you have $10,000 in your account and Facebook decides, you know what, we don't like your political opinions anymore, we're going to freeze your account, your money could be stuck there forever potentially. And that is the thing, is it's a crypto based asset, but it's not really a cryptocurrency in any meaningful way. And I think that people get excited about it because people are going to go into Bitcoin after that. And well, yeah, look, maybe people, I mean, they were talking to Gemini and Coinbase, so we could see some overflow with that. They're talking with those guys about custody services, but also about the potential to exchange in and out of Bitcoin. That could be useful, but it's really, I look at this as, are we so desperate to have more people come in that we're willing to make this kind of deal with the devil? And that's what I look at Facebook as, is a deal with the devil, because most people on Facebook are never going to care about Bitcoin. They don't care about a lot of things. They're just on Facebook because that's where everyone is, and they don't leave Facebook. Most people's experience of the internet is Facebook. They just get on Facebook, they look at stuff. And so why would they want Bitcoin when they have money inside of Facebook that they can use to buy things? And, they're not people who rock the boat, so they don't care about any of these things that people in the crypto community might care about. So it's a really double-edged sword, in my opinion. There's going to be a massive amount of financial data. Who's buying what, right? What are they spending their money on? Where are they spending their money? How much money do they have? I mean, I think we'd be crazy to assume that Facebook's not going to monetize the hell out of that metadata and potentially even give very specific information about what users are spending on what. Now, private for you and me, you and I can't see what you and I are going to have in terms of how much money, because it's not going to look like, a Bitcoin address, right? But the governments will know, Facebook will know, and they'll sell that information to their ad partners. So that will all come into play here.
That was a concern too, because I think they were going to make it no transaction fees. So that sort of concerned me that, okay, I guess you're going to mine this data to make money. So
that's right. And if there's no transaction fees, so then that means probably the 100 nodes, they're getting, some kind of inflation rates, right? Mm-hmm. So again, long term, where's all that money coming from? It's probably a lot of it's going to come from ad revenue. This, in my ways, and what I see it is actually this is the most genius way to just totally max out their exploitative business model, because you will have all this data, billions of dollars of financial data, which they can now sell, because it's nice to know what people like on Facebook, but it's a whole nother story to know what they're spending their money on Facebook.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's worth a lot to advertisers.
That's worth a lot. And then, it's the biggest criticism that I have with Alipay and WeChat Pay that's, now becoming popular here, even in Japan. And, hey, this is all going to the government. All this data, I guarantee, is in their hands sooner or later. So
just one quick note on your second point, though. If we even get 1% of Facebook's users into Bitcoin as a result of this, that's massive. You just have to keep that real. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword, right?
So you are a supporter. I knew it.
I'm not a supporter, but it's the reality of what's going to happen. If we even get 1% of those people coming in, well, that's good. Then we rescued 1% of the people who use Facebook from Facebook's global coin, and they can get exposed to Bitcoin and have that as, a new something, right? And that's a lot of people, right? We're talking about 1% is about 20 million people that could potentially, if we're just talking 1% of all Facebook users globally, if 1% come in, I guess it's actually 23 million people. And if all those people spend $10 on Bitcoin, well, that's massive, right?
Future Bitcoin, where's the price going and why?
To the moon. Look, Bitcoin is a scarce asset that's actually getting scarcer by the day, especially on the market, simply because we are looking at a situation where we have lots of big institutional investors which are getting involved. We have all of these different people who want a piece of Bitcoin, from Fidelity's customers to Wall Street. I mean, when Bakkt launches their futures contracts, they need 1 Bitcoin for every 1 Bitcoin that they're selling on those futures markets. They're going to be physically settled. It's going to be a lot of Bitcoin. Now, I imagine Bakkt has been accumulating for a long time. We've seen that during the depths of the bear market, about 450,000 Bitcoin were accumulated by some top whales. So, I mean, are they part of that? Hard to say. Obviously, that'll come out as time moves on, but that's all going to be underwritten by Bitcoin. So that's important. And then, of course, we have more and more retail people getting in every single day. I mean, I see this in my comment section. New people who just, hey, I've been in cryptocurrency for a week. How do I do anything? Right. Those people are coming in. Those people want Bitcoin. Those people are buying Bitcoin. 6 million are already gone. We only have 3 million left to mine. I mean, it's just a mathematical equation at that point.
Absolutely. And when those newbies say, I just bought my Bitcoin, you say, get yourself cold storage, get it off the exchange, right?
Exactly. And we've actually seen a pretty interesting situation going on with exchanges, especially for U.S. customers recently, where we've seen them being geo-blocked from different assets. Now, Bitcoin has never been part of that conversation, or Ethereum, but they are different staking coins and things like this are increasingly coming under the microscope.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that trend's going to continue. Last question. This was a question from one of my readers, actually. So it's kind of a broad one, but I'll give it to you anyway. How do we make cryptocurrency become mainstream? What are some of your strategies?
There's a lot of different things. And honestly, I think something going mainstream starts at home. One of the simplest things that you can do is literally tell people about Bitcoin, explain to them the way the monetary system works, and go above and beyond that. Don't just say, oh, well, hey, there's this Bitcoin thing out there, you should check it out. Like, actually sit down, help them, download a wallet, install the wallet on their phone, and give them $10 worth of Bitcoin.
I've heard you say that before. It's a good idea.
Help people get started. I think that's really, really important because it is. I mean, you got to think back. If we've been in Bitcoin for a while, you're probably, sending Bitcoin transactions. That's all easy. But no, I mean, first time you bought Bitcoin, it was a pain in the butt. The first time you sent Bitcoin, you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen to my money? Right. So you have to, everyone goes through that experience. Yeah. So help people get involved. And I think we've seen so many things happening that are creating a more positive environment. I mean, one thing that we could at least see with the FATF ruling about the travel rule and the things like this is that they set the bar at $1,000, which means that keeps it open for general retail purposes, which I think is a positive, even though I don't like the travel rule. I don't like what they're doing with the KYC. I don't like that they've put in this $1,000 limit and all this stuff. But if it is kept below $1,000, at least you can go and buy a train ticket or buy a CD or lunch or whatever it might be using Bitcoin without having to go through all that drama.
Right, absolutely. Well, that's all my questions. So first of all, before I let you go, where can people find you to see your videos and learn more about Bitcoin?
Yeah, come and check it out over at the Crypto Lark on YouTube. Also, you can go to thecryptolark.org. I've created a whole free course. It's about 5 hours, and it'll take you through everything you want to know if you're new to cryptocurrencies. Make sure you check that out as well.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time today, Lark.
Thanks for having me.